Bacha Khan. Khan Abdul Ghafar Khan, also known as Bacha Khan and honorably addressed as Fakhr Afghan, was an Pashtun freedom fighter, independence activist against British colonial rule in India. He was a political and spiritual leader known for his non-violent opposition and lifelong pacifism. He was a devout Muslim and an advocate for Hindu-Muslim unity in the Indian subcontinent. Due to his similar ideologies and close friendship with Mahatma Gandhi, Khan was nicknamed Sarhadi Gandhi, Frontier Gandhi by his close associate Amir Chand Bhumbal in 1929. Date of birth and place: February 16, 1890 in Hasnagar, Uthmanzai, now district Charsadda, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan. Personal life: he married Maharkanda in 1920. She was a daughter of Yar Muhammad Khan of the Kinankhel clan of the Muhammadzai tribe of Razard. They had two sons, Abdul Ghani Khan and Abdul Wali Khan, and one daughter, Sardaro. Unfortunately, his wife died in 1918. He married Nambata, a cousin of his first wife, in 1920. The couple had a daughter and a son. Tragedy struck again when Nambata died in 1926 after falling down the stair at their home. Ghafar decided not to marry again in spite of being relatively young. Foundation of Khudai Khidmatgar. In 1929, he founded the Khudai Khidmatgar, also known as the Red Shirt Movement, among the Pashtun. The movement advocated non-violent nationalist agitation in support of Indian independence. The Khudai Khidmatgar's success and popularity with the Indian people eventually prompted the colonial government to launch numerous crackdown against Khan and his supporters. The Khudai Khidmatgar experienced some of the most severe repression of the entire Indian independence movements. Bacha Khan and the Indian National Congress. Khudai Khidmatgar agitated and worked cohesively with the Indian National Congress, the leading national organization fighting for independence, of which Bacha Khan was a senior and respected member. Life in prison. Bacha Khan spent more time in prison, 37 years, than Nelson Mandela, both during the British rule and the later day Pakistani government, for demanding equal right for his people. Mahatma Gandhi held Bacha Khan in high esteem. During his visit to Sardaryab, the headquarters of Khudai Khidmatgar in Charsadda, Gandhi is quoted as telling the audience, Bacha Khan and Khudai Khidmatgar deserve more credit than me and Congress, as Hindus belong to a comparatively non-martial race, and taming the most violent people into peace-loving and law-abiding citizens was an incomparable achievement. Afghan Reform Society. In 1911, he joined independence movement of the Pashtun freedom fighter Haji Sahib of Turangzai. However, in 1915, the British authorities banned his mosque school. Having witnessed the repeated failure of revolt against the British Raj, Bacha Khan decided that social activism and reforms would be more beneficial for the Pashtun. This led to the formation of Anjuman Islahil Afghana, Afghan Reform Society in 1921, and the youth movement Pashtun Jarga, Pashtun Assembly in 1927. Foundation of Azad School. He opened a mosque school in his hometown in 1910 when he was just 20. He was a fanciful and idealistic young man who traveled all over the country to promote his ideal about education. He joined the independence movement of the Pashtun freedom fighter Haji Sahib of Turangzai in 1911. The British authorities banned his mosque school in 1915. Though saddened by this, Ghafar was not disheartened. He decided that social activism and reform was the only way to bring about the emancipation of the Pashtun. The Partition. Khan strongly opposed the proposal of the partition of India into the Muslim majority dominion of Pakistan and the Hindu majority dominion of India, and consequently sided with the pro-Union Indian National Congress and All India Azad Muslim Conference against the pro-partition All India Muslim League. When the Indian National Congress reluctantly declared its acceptance of the partition plan without consulting the Khudai Khidmatgar leader, he felt deeply betrayed, telling the Congress leader, "You have thrown us to the wolves." Khan and other Khudai Khidmatgar leaders formally issued the Banu Resolution to the British authorities demanding that the ethnic Pashtun be given a choice to have an independent state of Pashtunistan, which was to comprise all of the Pashtun territories of British India and not be included as almost all other Muslim majority provinces were within the state of Pakistan, the creation of which was still underway at the time. However, the British government openly refused to comply with the demands of this resolution. In response, Khan and his elder brother Abdul Khan boycotted the 1947 North-West Frontier Province referendum on deciding whether the province should be merged with India or Pakistan, citing that it did not have the option for the Pashtun majority province to become independent or to join neighboring Afghanistan. When Pakistan was established, after the partition of India was brought into effect by the British government on 14 August 1947, Khan pledged allegiance to the newly created nation of Pakistan and stayed in the now Pakistani North-West Frontier Province. He was frequently arrested by the Pakistani government between 1948 and 1954 and 1956. Khan was arrested for his opposition to the One Unit program, under which the government announced its plan to merge all the provinces of West Pakistan into a single unit to match the political structure of erstwhile East Pakistan, present-day Bangladesh. Khan was jailed or in exile during much of the 1960s and 1970s, following his will upon his death in Peshawar while under house arrest in 1988. Pashtunistan. Abdul Ghafar Khan took an oath of allegiance to Pakistan in 1948 in the Legislation Assembly. When during his speech he was asked by the PM Liaquat Ali Khan about Pashtunistan, he replied that it was just a name for the Pashtun province in Pakistan, just like Punjab, Bengal, Sindh, and Balochistan are the names of provinces of Pakistan as ethno-linguistic names. However, this compromise was apparently contrary to what he believed in and strived for, Pashtunistan as an independent state. Later on in 1980s, during an interview with an Indian journalist, Harun Siddiqui, Abdul Ghafar Khan said that the ideas of Pashtunistan never helped Pashtun. According to him, the idea of Pashtunistan was never a reality. He further said that successive Afghan government has exploited the idea for their own political ends. It was only toward the end of Muhammad Daoud Khan's regime that he stopped talking about Pashtunistan. Later on, even Nur Muhammad Tarakai also talked about the idea of Pashtunistan and caused trouble for Pakistan. He said that Pashtun people greatly suffered because of all this. Abdul Ghafar Khan gave this interview while he was in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Death. Bacha Khan died in Peshawar under house arrest in 1988 from complication of a stroke and was buried in Shisham Bagh at Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Over 200,000 mourners attended his funeral, including the Afghan President Muhammad Najibullah. The then Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi went to Peshawar to pay his tribute to Bacha Khan despite the fact that General Ziaul Haq attempted to stall his attendance citing security reasons. Additionally, the Indian government declared a 5-day period of mourning in his honor. Tens of thousands of mourners attended his funeral, described by one commentator as a caravan of peace, carrying a message of love from Pashtun east of the Khyber to those on the west, marching through the historic Khyber Pass from Peshawar to Jalalabad. This symbolic march was planned by Bacha Khan to affirmatively demonstrate his dream of Pashtun unification and to help that dream live on after his death. A ceasefire was announced in the Afghan civil war to allow the funeral to take place. Bacha Khan book My Life and Struggle. In this book, we can learn about the lifelong struggle of non-violent hero Khan Abdul Ghafar Khan against the British rule. Freedom Hindustan, Hindu-Muslim Brotherhood, the Khidmatgar movement, building of free school, his life in prison, and social reforms in the subcontinent, and especially in the Pashtun belt from Bolan to Chatral. Bacha Khan. Non-violence is a power and has an army just like violence, but its weapon is preaching while the weapon of violence is the gun.